Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
Feeling like a boss, I done made it. Get so like a spaceship. I swear my life is amazing. Blowing money, no hesitation. Down, no basic. I know these be hating, but that's what made me feel like in the real life. Dripping all the sauce in the good life. You shine, I shine, and ain't nobody gonna take my role. I just wanna be a boss. I will never ever fall. I woke up and I'm feeling like a boss right now. I'm gonna hold it down, I swear. I roll up and I'm smelling like a right now. I do this for my rounds, oh yeah.
Honorable C notes.
Yeah.
Buddha
Yeah.
blesses me.
Yeah. Superstars out. Brand new cars.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a healthy Carson Wentz and the world champion Philadelphia Eagles take on a man back for a 15th NFL season, Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, is Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, it's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback, a multiple-time Pro Bowler. It's, of course, Eli Manning.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Tackle made that time by Brandon Graham. The New York Giants offensively, their starters and one guy out wide to take a look at, Sterling Shepard.
A really mature man in every way coming out of Oklahoma. Personally and professionally. You can play him out wide, play him in the slot. He can return punts for you. He's a dynamic playmaker.
And they'll run it here. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he'll be out of bounds yards after getting this one across the 40. Give him 8 yards on the play, and they pick up the first. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Now they try the right side here. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. The numbers for Gallman a week ago, he was without a doubt one of the catalysts in that victory.
And he can really be the glue that makes this offense go because when defenders have to commit to stopping him, that just opens up more opportunities in the passing game.
This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
On the toss, there goes Gallman. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1. For the Eagles, a look now at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They come into this one ranked number 17, so just starting the bottom half of the league against the pass.
And when you're getting ready to face the #1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. Evades the tackler, and now some space. The 20. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
All I remember from my experience as a defender, when the big fella gets the football, you've got to get on him early before he gets a chance to get up ahead of steam because once he does that, he's going to leave a lot of tacklers in his wake.
First trip to the red zone for the Giants. It's 1st and 10 from the 12.
Zebra.
Now they'll throw it with Manning. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now they'll run on the draw. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 3rd down. On play action, it's Manning. And that is incomplete. Aldrich Rosas now to try the Giants field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And the kick by Rosas is good. And the Giants are off now to a 3-0 lead. So the first points of the night belong to our home team as they're able to take the opening kickoff and at least get 3 points out of it.
Yeah, and that helps the crowd, right? Helps people feel good about why they're there watching this game. They moved the ball well on their opening drive.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. As we get a peek at the number 2 overall pick from the 2016 draft, standing at 6'5", Carson Wentz.
Not sure what you thought, but I thought it was appropriate when he walked into our meeting with his arm totally encased in ice because he threw 5 touchdown passes last week and won the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award.
Yeah, but reading the paper this morning, and he said, gosh, I actually thought I should have got 6 or 7. But still, it was an amazing performance a week ago.
Boy, I'll tell you what, if he thought he should have had 6 or 7, That's a guy's an absolute perfectionist, not just greedy.
Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game. I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Wentz now to throw, and this is going to be incomplete.
He had a good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
Manning now on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah. Not
an actual player? Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Play action. Manning. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Brandon Graham with a big-time sack on third down. And it'll be a loss of 7.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. He was locked in. 2 trips to the end zone, Charles, over 100 yards receiving.
How about the combination of route running, confidence going downfield, and the ability to go up and get the football? You're exactly right. It was hard for them to stop him.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now Wentz. toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
They'll run it with Sproles. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The tackle by Janoris Jenkins.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Play action to Sproles. Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Into the red zone. Wentz. That's complete right around the 8. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target. We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Credit the Giants' defense that time in pass coverage. 4th down. And Elliott puts this one through. And that will tie us at 3-3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And New York set to take the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Forced out to his left. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out.
Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Giants with the football here as we begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. And on the ground they go with a running back. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. From midfield, here's Manning. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Now come the Eagles. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on them.
Oh, now backing up, and he's out of the end zone. The referee was right there to call it, and that is a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. Pulled in at the 24. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been effective so far over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now Manning. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit and it forced an incompletion.
Now Manning, and incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night. Look at Darren Sproles as he works his way back onto the field for this next go-around. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? They'll start out on the ground with Sproles. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And that run, that changes the whole mentality about the drive right there. They were starting on their own 2-yard line. They just wanted enough space to pump the football successfully. Now they're talking about putting together a drive.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And they drop him for a loss, but penalty field. Let's see about the call.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll use his blockers to get this up over the 20 to the 21. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
On play action, it's Wentz. His throw incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, Wentz. And that is incomplete.
The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Here's John Ryan now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. Fielded at about the 28. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And it may just be the 2nd quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and put the down marker back to 1.
Throwing now is Manning. An incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. And the tackle there by Chris Long. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. It's caught. Shepard. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, They really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Zebra.
Manning to throw on second down. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know how to...
And he will take it all in for a giant touchdown. Russell Shepard, his second touchdown on the season. And the Giants are able to grow their lead.
When you're a great route runner, it makes you that much better as a receiver because now your quarterback trusts that you're going to be where he expects, and he's able to deliver the ball on time.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And that makes this a 9-point game. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Rosas now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with, some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. Once again here on 2nd and 10. That is incomplete.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete as well. I don't know, he had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. Here's John Ryan now as he's on to punt for Philadelphia. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They start on the ground with Gallman. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Go 56, 27's the same, 27's the same. Regular.
Play clock down to 5, and they're going to burn a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. And they'll go on the ground. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Zebra, zebra. Set. A blue 80. Zebra, zebra.
Manning now on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw again. Manning, and that is incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 3rd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. Coming up at the half, a reminder we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. To throw, it's Manning. To Shepard, complete over the middle. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On first down, Manning. Throw left side, complete. That's Shepard. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Now a toss. This is Gallman. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Rosas good with the extra point, and that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays, and it was capped off by a 12-yard touchdown run. Rosas now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Shotgun now for Wentz. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. A run, it's Clement. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Here's John Ryan now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. We get a look at Sterling Shepard as he and the rest of the offense march out into place. He's well on his way to a 1,000-yard season, maybe on pace to just tear past that, Charles. Defensively, they need to pay a little bit more attention to him?
Yeah, I think so because, remember, throwing the football, that can shred a defense quicker than anything else because as soon as the catch is made, he still has the ability to, yards after catch, get downfield, gain even more, score touchdowns, all of that. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch as this progresses to see how they defend him and how he changes up his game in order to try and keep getting open.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive.
Delay of game, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still 1st down.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Manning now to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
They'll run it now out of the gun. So we've reached halftime here at MetLife Stadium with a Giant. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few. Few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? You just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. This complete left side to Aguilar. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. Here's John Ryan now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the 3rd quarter. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Now Manning throwing on second down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw. You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Now whistles here and a flag down. I think a Giant jumped early.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. So a false start certainly doesn't help matters, as they'll try again now. 3rd and long.
Zebra.
Throwing is Manning. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. Well, they would have gotten a conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
New York set to take the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself. Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Room here to run. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Right back to him on first down. Oh, and now he bowls him over. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Now a carry here for their fullback. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Now that's the defense that they were looking for, being able to get extra bodies to the point of attack to deal with the big guy carrying the ball. You really don't want to be in a position where it's a one-on-one tackle with him.
And they'll run it here. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Here's a handoff to Sproles to start the drive. And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good gain. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. It's caught by Aguilar. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Wentz now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. To throw is Wentz. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now it's Sproles. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. The Eagles on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd down and 12. Wentz going to throw. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Fielded at the 20. 21 yards, well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want when you're running.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
They'll run again here with Gallman. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. The corner, Ronald Darby, comes up to get him.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
The Giants on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Manning. And Latimer's got it. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. They convert on third with a gain of 22.
And that pickup on the first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them.
Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's the Giants with the football and also the lead as we get set to start quarter number 4. Manning now on first down. Pressure comes and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Nigel Bradham in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out, and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is third down.
Zebra. Good.
Working from the gun, Manning. And he gets it complete to Latimer. 7 yards on the quick slant and a first down. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up first and goal.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
He'll get it up the middle, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A bullet throw, but incomplete. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They converted twice on third down that drive already, but couldn't make it a third. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just punt it. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Wentz now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Here we go. 20.
Working from the gun, Wentz. Wide open receiver complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Wentz now on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. That'll bring up second down. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
He finds Aguilar over the middle, and he'll get it down here to the 43. The reception good for 7. It's third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off-kilter there when he threw that. I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete. Here's Sproles. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. Brandon, this is a good spot in the field to go for it. A lot of coaches call this no man's land. A field goal is no sure thing, and neither is a punt. They made the right choice, went for it, and picked up the first down. Screen pass to Sproles. No gain on the screen there. It's second down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now Wentz. And his throw here's incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. Third down here. I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now. I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid. Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it. Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football. Now Wentz, gotta have this one. Looking for Jeffrey, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple, and the return stops at the 39-yard line. Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy. It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board. 3 points is 3 points. And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up? I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it. I did, didn't I? Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made. There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue. Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about running them into submission, hasn't he? You took the words right out of my mouth. Just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission. Throwing is Manning on third down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Wentz. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
I think someone's going to get into QB1s here when he gets to the sideline. Already thrown an interception. That one should have been picked. Look, let's just be honest about it. That would be the second person in his ear because he's hearing it in the huddle right now.
Not the start to the game he wanted. Like you said, the pick on the opening drive, second drive, not much better. The Eagles on third down. They've been stymied left and right. Converted only one time. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Wentz to throw. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made, no grounding. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Looking for Jeffrey, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Giants ready to come out now. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down. I think this defense tired of seeing him run the football, and this D-line probably getting sick of the O-line as well.
And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about a conversation I had with Adam Gase, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in the offseason. He told me that he asked his running backs each week for their favorite runs. Give me your 3 top runs. And right now, you're seeing a guy that's probably using his top runs to great advantage in this game.
He is in a zone. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Giants, they're into the win column for the third time this year as they get the victory here. And they'll get the weekend off now as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, it'll be their first loss of the season. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, caught the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. Look at them. How to make it in America. Real day one, ain't a lot of us. Mom worked 2 jobs, it was hard for us. Me and sis.
Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
In those private schools, wasn't like my rich friends, had a lot to lose. Less money, less options, lot of rules. So when that first deal came, it was opportune. And shorty got potential, I scout that. She say she in love, but I doubt that. Maybe it's the clout. I get love in the north, I get love in the south, yeah. Shorty claims she a feminist, and her feminine. Girl, you know that he